Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to another session of our webinar series. Today we are discussing about Prisma Access 4.0 features. So before we dive into the 4.0 features, let's quickly discuss Prisma Access upgrade because the 4.0 involves data plane upgrade. Okay. So Palo Alto Networks upgrades its cloud-based infrastructure without any intervention required from customers. So some upgrades require that you perform an action and such as which is install a new plugin. So there are the different upgrade types, which includes infrastructure upgrade, uh, where we upgrade the Prisma Access infrastructure, which includes the underlying service backend, orchestration, and monitoring infrastructure. Uh, Data plane upgrades requires which enables the traffic inspection and security policy enforcement on your network and the user traffic. You should sign up for the Prisma Access app for the data plane upgrade, and I will go through all the process also very shortly in the next couple of slides. Uh, Cloud service plugin upgrade. If you are Panorama managed customers, then you need a new plugin which will be available after every release or after your data plane upgrade, and you need to upgrade the new cloud service plugin in your Panorama. And Panorama software version upgrades. An upgrade for your Panorama might be required to ensure the content compatibility with your Prisma Access. So here are the few different components that are relevant to the upgrade and how they're connected. So firstly, as you know, there are two ways to manage the Prisma Access, either cloud managed or Panorama managed. So if you're a cloud managed customer, so no customer on maintenance, or you don't need to do any maintenance or upgrades. But if you're a Panorama managed, then you need to make sure that your Panorama is upgraded with the required version of the Panorama or PanOS version is required, because for 4.2, it's 10.2.3. Make sure that you're updated to that. And then the data plane upgrade will be required for your SC, RN, and MU. And after the data plane upgrade, the cloud plugin will be released and will be available, which you can update on your Panorama. After discussing the components for the upgrade, now we dive into who wants what. So we have different infrastructure upgrade, Panorama upgrade, data plane, and plugin upgrade. So infrastructure upgrade, there will be no impact to the network traffic. However, you cannot perform any commit during that maintenance window. Palo Alto Networks schedule the upgrades at some local time that is minimally disruptive to your business functions, and it includes 2 to 8 hours of the maintenance window. Panorama upgrade, whenever the Prisma Access upgrades its infrastructure and the data plane after a major release, the upgrades can be incompatible with earlier Panorama versions. So because of the fast-paced release of the Prisma Access and cloud service plugin, software compatibility dates for the Panorama are shorter than the software and live dates for the Panorama releases and apply to Panorama versions compatibility. For more information, you can check on the Prisma Access and Panorama versions compatibility documents, which are available on our tech doc. And then the data plane upgrade, which requires a 72 hours of maintenance window. And Palo Alto uses this window to upgrade the data plane for all customers. You can make configuration changes and commits during this window. And the goal is to minimize the impact to the network traffic. But in some cases, there may be a brief interruption. And then there's a plugin upgrade. Once the data plane upgrade is complete for the tenant, the plugin is made available for the upgrade for the Panorama. And you need to download and install the plugin, which is a very short and quick process, but you should do this generally after the business hours. So regarding the data plane upgrade, Prisma Access upgrades your data plane into two phases. On 2 weekend dates. and keeps you informed about the upgrade using the Prisma Access app. On a high level, you can see such steps in this, which are the upgrade process. After you sign up for the notification, Prisma Access informs you of the 2 weekend dates that will be used for the upgrade process and send this notification 21 days, 3 days, 24 hours before the first phase of the upgrade will occur. As I mentioned, the upgrade process occurs in 2 phases. The phase 1 upgrade, the location or location you choose on the first weekend using the time window you provide and notified to you via email when the upgrade is complete. If you did not select the location to upgrade first or did not select a time window, Prisma Access makes the choices for you. Between the first and the second upgrade, monitor the first upgrade locations and perform connectivity, performance test, routing, logging, testing, and make sure that all these locations upgrade successfully. And if you encounter any service impacting failure after the upgrade, you can open up a support case with our technical supports for assistance with the TAC. 7 days after the Prisma Access upgrade the first location, Prisma Access will upgrade the remaining of your location, which will be phase 2 upgrade, using the same time window you selected for the first phase, and it will notify you via email when the upgrade is complete. Please sign up for the alert notifications in the Prisma Access app. Make sure that you have drawn the access for the people who you want to receive the alert notification. And to receive the alerts, you must be a Prisma Access admin. There are 3 types of admin roles in the Prisma Access app in Insights. You can log in the Prisma Access from the hub, and then you can go to the Insights alert subscription and add users through your email user IDs there. You can see the Prisma Access upgrade dashboard. Make sure that you understand the upgrade process, all details are mentioned there, and how it works. You can select your upgrade preferences, as I mentioned, and if you are multi-tenant deployment, all tenant will display in this area. And if you have already selected your upgrade preferences for your deployment, these selections will also be displayed there. You can select the tenant for which you want to upgrade first, or you can edit your preferences as you want. You can select the preferred Prisma Access location you want to upgrade first from the drop-down. And Prisma Access only displays the locations where you have deployed your mobile users, remote networks, or service connection. They are grouped in the drop-down list belonging to the same compute locations. This Prisma Access app will inform you via email alerts when these locations were upgraded. After the first set of Prisma Access locations upgraded successfully, the Prisma Access team will monitor these locations for 7 days and then upgrade all the remaining Prisma Access locations. Selecting a single location or a smaller number of locations gives you a chance to monitor those locations before the remaining of your locations upgraded 1 week later. Again, if no location displays from the drop-down list, you either selected multiple tenants and have no common location deployed, or you have not yet onboarded any locations for your tenant you have selected. So there are some pre-upgrade activities before you select your data plane, upgrade window when it should be upgraded. First of all, as I mentioned, you should sign up for alert notifications in Prisma Access Insights, Prisma Access app, and also for status page. Verify the Panorama plugin, your global protect versions, they meet the minimum version requirement. Make sure that you have free IP pools for your mobile users. Make sure that you have retrieved the public IP addresses and whitelisted them. Again, make sure that the team who's responsible, they have signed up for the upgrade notifications for the Prisma Access. And also develop a test plan for your critical application post data plane upgrade for the first week and the full week upgrade also. Make sure that all changes from the panorama to the Prisma Access, they're all synced in the environment. There are no duplicate addresses, groups. And if you're using the SAML authentication, verify your SAML identity provider, server profile. They have a valid IDP certificate before upgrade. And some of the post-upgrade activities, which involve, make sure that you have developed a test plan, which you can, after the first week, you can make sure that you have access to the applications, all the internet hosted application, your third party, critical feature testings you should do. And if you observe any issues post-upgrade, immediately contact TAC. And with this, I will hand over to our Senior Product Manager, Yashwant, who will be going to the Prisma Access 4.0. So over to you, Yashwant.
Thank you, Karan. Hello, team. Good morning, good afternoon, based on where you are. My name is Yashwant, and I'm a Senior Product Manager here with the Prisma SASE team. And I'd like to take this opportunity to go over some of the key functionalities we're bringing in as part of Prisma Access 4.0. Right. Let's get started. We have segregated the list of features in 4 unique buckets here, and starting with application and user security, moving on to user experience, and then user and branch connectivity, and moving on to the regulatory compliance and geographic availability. Just a quick glance at all the main features and functionalities that we are bringing in. Some of the highlights here are we are launching the traffic replication support. I'll be going into a little bit of in-depth into what these features are. We have also added the functionality of advanced wildfire. We've also added the ability for SaaS phishing attack protection in our advanced URL filtering. We've also introduced third-party device ID support. Along with that, we have continuous investments in time and energy to improve the activation workflow for the admins when it comes to Prisma Access. Similarly, we've increased the support of number of remote sites you can have per single tenant to 15,000. We've also launched custom role-based access control, or custom roles for granular role-based access control, rather, for cloud management in Prisma Access. Along with that, we have some major enhancements on the Global Protect agent and support for explicit proxy. We have launched a GA for ZTNA connector. We'll be going a little bit into what exactly this is and what use cases it solves for you. From a locations front, we have added a bunch of new locations and compute regions across the world, and we've also introduced support for premium local zones on AWS for low latency connections. And our solution with Prisma Access China is also live. With that, let's dive deeper into all of these features. Starting with ZTNA connector. Now, when we are managing private app access to your users or your branches, today the solution available for you is service connections. Now, service connections are perfectly capable of giving you the complete access to your private applications. They solve a lot of use cases, end-to-end connectivity to your private applications. However, there are a few challenges with service connections. One being that if you have overlap subnets, then that becomes a problem with service connection. And moreover, service connections are only limited to 1 gigabits per second. With the solution of ZTNA connector, what we have is a VM that sits in your environment and that allows you to onboard private applications. This includes applications which are instantiated with overlapped IP addresses or overlap networks. And this onboards applications directly with the Prisma Access and connects to the local or the closest compute location of Prisma Access. And one thing to keep in mind here is that this solution at this stage only supports client-initiated traffic and not server-initiated traffic. Some of the benefits here are secure tunnel connectivity to the closest Prisma Access location, and the scale can be up to 10 gigabits per second. It provides automated routing between your private applications or your data centers to your users and branches. And at the same time, it's also able to automatically onboard your private applications through the help of Cloud Identity Engine. The next item is the enhancements we are making on the explicit proxy side or the cloud switch capabilities. Our explicit proxy or pack file-based approach is easy, but it does not address all the use cases. Some of the use cases that that causes issues for the user are the existence with the third-party VPNs on the systems. At the same time, since there is also no presence of a client, it kind of does not comply with all the device-level security that we provide with Prisma Access. With this new mode of proxy on the Global Protect agent itself, we now have the ability on the Global Protect agent itself to have a proxy mode. Today, Global Protect agent supports IPsec to the internet. Now we have the ability to support proxy mode to complete our zero trust network access with proxy as well. Along with that, you have now the hybrid mode that you can run your connectivity in. You can have proxy mode for internet-based connections and tunnel mode for your private applications. And at the same time, it also gives you an always-on security for internet. Even if your tunnel has any issues or if the user disables the tunnel, the internet-bound traffic will always be using the proxy mode and provide security to the internet-based connections. Along with that, with this proxy mode, now you can have a proper coexistence with a third-party VPN client on the same laptop or the same machine, whereas a third-party VPN can be used for some applications, whereas proxy mode can be used for internet-based applications. The next item is third-party data sources for device ID. Now, most of our customers or many of our customers actually have third-party IoT solutions that they already have made some current security investments in, and they pull in a lot of information regarding the state and the postures of the third-party devices or IoT devices. Now, with this functionality, what we are bringing in as the ability in Prisma Access is to actually have these device ID information fed into Prisma Access, which means we are able to now communicate with these third-party sources and get the device ID information and pass the traffic and use this device ID information for posture across these IoT devices. With this, you now have the ability to actually integrate Prisma Access with your IoT solution and use this information provided by the IoT solution to actually enforce policies on these IoT devices. The next item is there is a significant rise in the phishing attacks or man-in-the-middle attacks when it comes to the web-based traffic. With the enhancements that we are bringing in with our advanced URL filtering, which is by default enabled for you if you're a Prisma Access customer, you now have the ability to, Prisma Access now has the ability to actually generate unique HTTP header-based signatures. And these signatures are, no matter which user is running into it, centrally the signature system gets updated and all the customers reap the benefit of it. And we train our model to catch these attacks while they are happening in line. Instead of doing the retrospect, it's happening real time. And this is a functionality that's available in Prisma Access and all of our Palo Alto Networks security suite. But at the same time, on the Prisma Access, a user does not have to have any or take any explicit actions. It's automatically enabled by default. The next item is one of the big items that we have been working on, which is the ability to actually give you a copy of the traffic that is going through Prisma Access. Now, a lot of our customers actually have a lot of real-time inspections, like advanced threat prevention, URL filtering, wildfire, DNS security, etc. And many of these customers actually want to see what exactly was the session actually looking like from for postmortem analysis or forensic analysis. Some also like to keep it for in their storage for compliance requirements. What we are introducing with this functionality is the ability to actually store this traffic traversing through Prisma Access and store it in the form of a packet capture. And that can be provided to, that can be exported for third-party tools for analysis, or can be stored in the customer environment for forensics. And this actually gives complete end-to-end visibility into the traffic for the users or for the admins. This helps meet compliance requirements. It helps with integrations with tools like NetWitness and CoreLight. And it also increases or visibility or completes the visibility for the knock and SOC use cases. The next item is, as we are expanding our security posture here, we have introduced the advanced wildfire, advanced URL filtering, advanced threat prevention. Now we are also introducing advanced wildfire, which is able to actually block more sophisticated malware attacks that we see in the recent world. By introducing stealthy observation or intelligent runtime analysis, and faster inline capabilities for threat prevention, allows wildfire to become to actually give you complete protection against zero-day vulnerabilities, but at the same time, day one and day end vulnerabilities as well. This is, again, a functionality that is added to Prisma Access as part of your standard Prisma Access. You don't have to do any kind of configuration change or purchase a new license, anything like that. It's available standard on Prisma Access. Well, the next item is mainly geared towards larger enterprises who have, or maybe retail customers who have many branches or branch sites, and they need to have different remote site or remote network for each site. Today, our limits are lower when it comes to the amount of remote sites that we can support within one tenant. With this functionality, what we are introducing is the support for 15,000 remote networks per tenant or remote sites per tenant. We are improving the commit times, and of course, what goes in hand with this is the ability to actually monitor and manage all of these different remote sites that you have within this tenant. The next item is introduction of the premium zones or premium locations with AWS. This is offered currently in Chicago, Miami, and Perth. And these locations actually give you low latency connections for your sites, users, and data centers. Along with that, we are introducing new compute and PA locations across different parts of the world. Some of the compute locations that we are introducing are in Poland, Salt Lake City, Sweden, and UAE. Some of the locations we are introducing are Guatemala, Latvia, Ghana, Senegal, Uganda, Uruguay, and Kazakhstan. More details of this is obviously available in release notes, and there's also instructions in terms of how you can actually leverage these locations as well. With that, I'd like to leave the floor open for questions.